Welcome to this somatic meditation practice. The practice will last around 20 minutes, so perhaps taking yourself somewhere quiet where you'll be undisturbed for that time. You can choose to take the practice sitting or lying down in a comfortable position. We're looking for the body to feel relaxed and supported, so you might have a small cushion behind the back of the head, perhaps cushions behind the back of the knees, the legs sliding long if you're choosing to lie down. A blanket to keep you warm throughout the practice, and maybe a light covering over the eyes. Our intention is to stay awake throughout the practice, but resting in a liminal space, somatically experiencing the unspoken voice of the body. So making yourself as comfortable as you can. And as you breathe out, allowing that out-breath to pour down the front of the body. Breathing out, the out-breath pouring softly down the front of the body like a waterfall. Breath by breath, the process of arriving, in the practice, arriving within the body, which can sometimes feel like other, and yet is a beloved companion. And as this breath by breath process of arriving with the exhalation, perhaps feeling the points of contact between the body and the ground, a sense of being welcome. Softening the points of contact, a feeling of spread, a feeling perhaps that the ground is rising up to meet you in that welcome of greeting an old friend. As the out-breath begins to slow the mind, feeling the skin on the scalp and the face softening. The eyes resting deep in the dark wells behind the closed eyelids. The tongue resting in the well of the mouth, and the bottom jaw with a feeling of slackness. Allowing the head to feel heavy, for the weight of the brain to settle itself into the back of the skull. And perhaps a feeling that the back of the skull could be broad and spacious, allowing the front brain some time off from its thinking and analysing and endless lists of doing. Feeling that the old brain here at the back of the skull has some space now to open into its capacity for sensing inwards, listening to the non-verbal, unspoken voice within the body. And as each exhalation, you feel a sense of release, allowing the back of the neck to feel more like a lazy hammock than a tight rope. You might find that begins to release the chin, to give the head a very subtle bowing gesture towards the heart. The thinking mind growing quieter as the old brain has space for sensing. And as the out-breath continues to pour down the front of the body like a waterfall, the inhale rising up along the back body like a wellspring, nourishing and full of renewal. The inhale rising up along the back body, from the feet towards the crown of the head like a wellspring rising, full of the vitality of life renewing. Giving yourself some time off from having to know anything or to be anything. Giving yourself permission to be just as you are, with all your perfection and imperfections. Welcome here in your practice. Welcome here in the body. Welcome here on the ground, on the earth. Feeling yourself settled and grounded and softly breathing. And as the thinking mind settles, becomes quieter, a different quality of mind we call awareness comes to the fore with its quality of silence and space. Awareness spreads through the body like ink dropping onto blotting paper, spreading freely and spontaneously in all directions. Breathing gently into this experience. And taking a moment to find an anchor place for your awareness. A place that feels as comfortable and as welcoming as home. Perhaps the breath in the centre of the chest with its gentle rise and fall. Or maybe a sense of your whole body, the experience through your skin of softly breathing, whole body. Or maybe it's the sacrum. Choosing this place that feels comfortable and welcoming for your attention to return to at any point through the practice, a place where you can come home to if you find that the mind is busy and wandering. Returning to this place as an anchor point. And then once again allowing your awareness to roam more freely, more spontaneously through this inner landscape of your body. Having a sense like the arrival in any natural landscape, say a meadow or a woodland, that your arrival might for a moment disturb the natural way of things. But be patient, find yourself somewhere that you're curious, where awareness will settle for a while, somewhere where you're just drawn to quite naturally. Staying a while with awareness if you're comfortable to, with patience. Becoming a curious observer of sensations, of just what is present. If you're able to stay a while, you might notice that gradually the nature of the body will begin to go about its business once again, just as if you were sat in a woodland quietly. After a while, the birds will continue to go about their nesting. And maybe even if you sit quietly enough, you might even see a shy creature like a deer come into view. But when you're drawn to moving on, letting curiosity travel awareness through this inner landscape of body and form, being curious about the blankness of some places, apparently deserted of sensation. As we know, even deserts are full of life when we look sensitively. Breathing softly with awareness can sometimes be like bringing rains to the desert. You might have the experience of sensations beginning to bloom, where before there was just blankness. Breathe softly into that experience and just notice if there's any tendency for yourself to be trying too hard. And if that's present, just a soft exhalation, once again pouring down the front of the body. Being patient with yourself as you practice this shift from the external to the internal, from doing towards being. And as the inner landscape becomes more and more alive to your experience, the arising, unfolding and dissolving of sensation in the field of your awareness, treasuring this experience of the intimacy of your own aliveness. Noticing that the quality of awareness is itself unchanging. And it's this unchanging quality, with its stillness and silence, that abides within you as the very source of your being. And as you become more and more familiar with these practices, allowing this experience to open up within you. Feeling the exhalation pour down the front of the body, and the inhale once again rising like a wellspring from the feet towards the crown of the head, up the back body, full of life and vitality. And as we slowly move towards the end of this practice, allowing the breath to gradually deepen. And as the breath deepens, allowing your attention to move from the depths of this inner landscape, slowly back towards the surface. Taking your time and going as slowly as a diver would go from the ocean bed up towards the light. Feeling the contact once again between the back body and the ground, feeling yourself supported and settled, keeping your eyes closed a little longer, but beginning to externalize awareness through your other senses, perhaps listening to the sounds around you. Swallowing, you might notice a taste inside your mouth. Perhaps feeling the temperature of your toes and of your fingers as you begin to stretch out slowly through the whole body. As the breath deepens, you might find yourself spontaneously yawning and stretching. Taking your time, maybe opening your eyes briefly for a moment now to reorientate you to the time of day and where you are in your room. Perhaps bending the knees in towards the chest, or simply rolling onto one side. Breath still calm. Taking it slowly. You might choose to stay here lying and enjoying the echoes of this practice for a little longer. Or you might find your way up to a comfortable sitting position if you've been lying. Feeling yourself grounded and settled as we come to the end of the practice. Thank you for sharing this somatic meditation with me. And I hope the benefits of the practice stay with you as you go into the rest of your day. Namaste.